The whole childhood wonder stage just blew right past you, didn't it?
Look at the size of that whammer!
Wham! Cause that.
Triple whammy. Ooh, not the triple whammy.
Good morning, my little whammers. I'm glad to see that you're all here standing up for parade, ready to once again march into an issue of Warhammer Monthly, erect as the day is long, and ready to stiffen the limbs. In other words, hello, I'm Adam, and that's Andy.
Hello, I wonder where you were going based on our conversation just before this started. Talking about a film called Glory. Not the Denzel Washington, Matthew Broderick one, the other one, which I was previously unaware of.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one that's much better.
Oh, that's a lot of things to learn.
Alright, I'll rephrase that to, I'm talking about the one that is easier to watch. Yeah, it's a funnier film with a lot more joy and happiness and fun. Yeah, it's not a meat grinder.
Yeah.
The difference between Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan.
But speaking of meat grinder, we're on for Blood for the Blood God with Warhammer Monthly issue 25.
We are into the issue 25. Good God! But before we get into that, there's something I wanted to say to you, Andy.
Yeah.
You know, as we discuss comics here and there. You know, this being predominantly a comics-based show. I've read something recently, and I feel that I need to atone. And the only way to atone and repent is by mentioning it to you and hoping that you don't just end the call there and then.
Okay, but if you wish to publicly confess your sins, I may have another one. I've already confessed said sin to fellow Spawn enthusiast Gavin Ulysses Spence.
See, nothing that Todd Father does is ever going to hit as bad as this was. And I was halfway through. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? I discovered, while tidying through some of these boxes that I've got, my complete collection of Just Imagine Stan Lee created the DC Universe. I read them all.
There are worse comics to find in your collection. And to be fair, they were all gorgeous books because they basically just paired them up with here's an artist. Again, Gary Frank. You got him and Buscema doing Batman, if memory serves.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The artwork for Batman is beautiful. It's absolutely wow.
Is it not one of Buscema's last works as well? Fairly certain.
Not sure, to be honest.
I think that's fairly late in the Buscema canon in terms of him doing stuff before he finally retires, then passes away. Because obviously, as we record this, his younger brother Sal only passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, not long at all.
Like
2 weeks ago.
All the giants of the bullpen era.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're kind of reaching that point in our lives now where the people that we kind of grew up with, they're all unfortunately leaving us. There's going to be a world very, very soon without Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and I don't know how I'm going to react to that. It's one of these things that just like fixtures in your life. Mm-hmm. It's kind of an odd. It's kind of an odd thing in terms of it, because it's like I don't know about you, but when famous people die, it's very rarely that it has any deep emotional connection to me. Yeah.
I would charitably say that the two strongest reactions I've had, outside of people who professionally I may have become acquainted with over the years, just obviously Transformers convention, I get to know that, so I've got no doubt that the day Simon Furman no longer is drawing Beth will be devastating, because I consider someone who I'm on good terms with. But I'd say Robin Williams and Terry Pratchett are probably the two ones that really properly knocked me for 6.
Yeah, I mean, Bowie was another one that add to those two, but
Bowie was always I always found him interesting rather than engaging with a lot of his work. So, which is again, it's just a matter of taste. It's like But bizarrely, I really enjoyed Black Star, which someone just Bowie's gone. I was like, it's been a while since you released one. Let's get this.
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. It's like, then obviously a few days later, it's like, yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, it's a really weird experience, that one. And Black Star is an incredible album, absolutely incredible. But yeah, I mean, Pratchett, that was like the most mourning I think I've ever done for somebody I don't know.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah. But yeah, let's not get too morose here. So yeah, I went through the entirety of Just Imagine Stan Lee created the DC universe, and holy God, do I miss Tangent all of a sudden.
Well, my sin is probably, I would say worse, is I paid paper money to get some issues of a Spawn high-end book.
Right.
Not a Spawn high-end book.
Go on.
It's the Shirley Johnson book. Because the guy that's doing the art, Jonathan Glapion, used to be Capullo's Inc. I quite like his artwork. I saw it and I went, I'm enjoying this cartoony stuff. I'd like to actually properly read it and engage with the paper. So I bought 4 issues of the 5. So Shirley Johnson, if you don't know, is the sensational character archaeology dig of 2025/2026. She is the child victim of the Billy Kincaid, the big fat child killer from Spawn issue 5.
Yep. Who himself came back as a Spawn at one point.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah, I bought 4 of the 5 issues with my own money.
And how are they?
The story's it's functional by Spawn Universe standards, which is not saying a lot, but I really liked the art.
Yeah.
Massive. As anyone will, as probably glommed to by now, have listened to it, I will forgive a lot of rubbish comics if the artwork's good.
Yeah. That's why we both have this insane love of the Santa Claus 2-parter that Todd Father released this year. I love that thing.
Just... Well, it's the fact we're getting a sequel next year.
I know.
For Christmas. So.
I can't wait. Santa calling the police on somebody because he found...
What I genuinely love about Todd, when you strip aside all the buffoonery and all of all that, is that he kept his comics affordable for longer than anybody else.
True. Yeah.
And it's like, no, I mean, the Spawn Universe nonsense. It's the fact he's got Gail Simone about to write a book on She-Spawn, Lady Spawn, Spawnette, or
Lady Spawn Strike.
I know she's called She-Spawn, but it's fucking such a stupid name.
It is. It really is.
However, he's got other people that I've read their work elsewhere, and it seems to be that when they go to the Spawn universe, that something happens to them. And it's like, Gail, I'm worried for you. I genuinely love it. You're one of these writers who I don't think's ever written a bad book.
No.
Not always acceptable, but always good.
Yeah.
Which I think is a much harder thing to do than a writer that can do an amazing book one and then an absolute turd the next. Looking at you, Tom King.
Well, look at Gail Simone's Suicide Squad, that original run of Suicide Squad. It is genuinely one of the best runs of comics I've ever read. It's insanely good.
Yeah.
The character work in that thing is beyond reproach.
One of the 2 great Suicide Squad runs, the other being the OG by John Ostrander and Kim Yale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back in the mid. But again, it's a book that's designed for that. But we digress. We can swing around to other stuff. So we've got, let's say, we're into year 3 of Warhammer Monthly. That's right, year 3.
Yep.
And as it's Christmas, we've got a big horrible red Corn Damon Prince from Bloodquest demanding blood for the Blood God.
Yep. In this issue, Bloodquest, Titan, Darkblade, Cal Jericho.
You can win awesome Rights of War, computer games, model kits, box games worth thousands.
I hate it when you have the pound sign or any currency sign before the word, before the number of the word. It drives me insane because that's...
It's like your dad trying to do leet speak.
Yeah.
Not knowing how it works. So, one thing is like, you can win these things worth thousands, yeah, but your prizes probably won't be the thousands, or your prize will maybe be about 30 quid, 40 quid, which I'm not knocking, but come on now.
Yep.
You've allocated thousands of pounds worth of stuff, but you're not winning all of it.
No, which is a horrendous shame because, thousands of pounds worth of stuff would keep you busy for at least a year.
Yeah. And again, this is eBay's kind of around at this point, but just so you probably having to use the blue paper for getting rid of it. For people who don't know, there was a blue and a yellow one, so it was twice a week if memory serves.
Yep.
You'd have this big, massive classified ads paper, and it was just basically if you want to buy shit secondhand.
Yeah, that's how I got my original Game Gear, was through that.
Some comic acquisitions were done through that back in the day. But I digress. It's the Demon Prince that we saw from Bloodquest last issue, and Colin McNeil getting to do some fully painted stuff this time.
Yeah, it is. It's a gorgeous piece of work, isn't it?
Yeah. I have one massive criticism about that cover.
Is it that the big blue thing just takes away, the big blue splat takes away?
You kind of, that's as well as it could be, because you're just having it. No, there should have been a speech bubble with Blood for the Blood God. That doesn't need to be copy. That should have been a text.
Yeah.
That should have been just actually have it. It's a comic, for fuck's sake. People use speech balloons in a comic.
Mm-hmm.
Put it on the cover.
See, that's not the thing that stands out to me as being not a problem as such, but something that you'd go, oh no, don't do that. And it's the bottom corner where the black library symbol is, and it just goes over the top of McNeil's signature.
Yeah,
it's just
that will be on, and I can tell you right now that that's on an overlaid layer.
Oh yeah.
So no, they won't have moved it. They'll have just put it for the bleed settings, and it's like, yeah. Again, they have credits inside, so
I know, but it just feels like a bit of a messy. It's just a bit of a shame, and it's no big thing. It's no it's no deal breaker by any stretch of the imagination. But the moment I see it, I can't unsee it.
No, I agree. It's unelegant, and it's a quick fix. But as we've talked about, you don't know kind of how pressed for time they were. But like I say, just put the speech bubble in it. It also would give the cover a bit more energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big spiky speech bubble. Blood for the Blood God.
Yeah, do some decent ones. So it's kind of like almost again the temptation, but use a font. But try and hand draw it if you could.
Mm-hmm.
Get some blood and make it. But it's like, yeah, that's it then feels like he's shouting at the reader.
Yeah.
Just it gives a bit more impetus. So
when did speech bubbles stop being on covers? Because I want to think in American comics, that was now something that wasn't happening at all.
It's in the 90s more. It seemed to. It never always went. It didn't go away entirely. It's just only certain people would employ it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with a lot of US stuff. It would do the tagline. They just do a tagline and copy rather than have the character say much.
Yeah.
And then it got to, say, the 2000s, the generic character pose rather than anything that reflects something that's actually in the cover. Yeah, just it's one of these things that in comics you have a thing that people suddenly go, this isn't in fashion. We're not doing it anymore, and it's like it's always the thing. Is like, no, you don't take away a tool arbitrarily. You just you use it judiciously. It's the same thing with. In film, CGI and practical effects, one is not inherently superior than the other because there are definitely benefits to CGI against practical effects.
Yeah.
Vice versa. However, it's how you choose to use them to get the best use out of them.
See, the Thing remake, where the film was shot to have practical effects, and the CGI that was used, the film was not shot to have the CGI effects, and as a result, the CGI looked terrible.
You incorporate them because almost anything, even with practical effects, will augment it with CG anyway. Blood splatter being one of the easiest ones to do.
Yeah,
it's like you'll have some practical effects with your squibs and what have you, and then have additional splatter and all that because you can do it in post.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because it only needs to be on the screen for a couple of seconds, and it isn't relevant to it because you're not doing it. You don't need it for the rest. There's a tool for. It's the same when it became the wisdom that thought balloons were bad, but all that happened is people just used narration captions. For
Yeah.
it. It's like, well, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah. Just for
You're just. It was basically, oh, this looks stupid. No, it added the charm to it. It's like and rather and also first person narration. Just almost every writer becomes ponderous when they do it.
Yeah,
because you're trying to give weight to something. It feels artificial. It's like no. There are certain writers who can do it deftly, and it suits the material they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not going to say Frank Miller Sin City's dialogue is fantastic by any stretch of the imagination, but the narration captions work for the type of story he's telling.
Well, yeah, I think that's entirely the point, isn't it? It's what's the story you're trying to tell, and what tools can you use to help alleviate that story, elevate that story, I should say.
Yeah, because there's not much of thought balloons in The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
Or Year One actually, but again, you're effectively. You are having a story narrated by Bruce Wayne for more or less, or Jim Gordon's monologues. It's a story told that way. But it's like every tool should be used and just use it wisely.
Mm-hmm. I always remember when The Darkness kicked off, the spin-off from Witchblade, and that was one that I very much noticed the thought balloons had gone. Did Darkness come out? Yeah, Darkness was just before the original Sam Twitch run, and Sam Twitch had that weird lack of speech bubbles experiment throughout.
It's been done before. If memory serves, Gaspar Saladino did it for Grant Morrison and Dave McKean's Arkham Asylum for the Joker.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
So, and also went certain balloons with, we're going to have red text and a black background.
Mm-hmm. God, I love Arkham Asylum.
It's one of the things I would change is not the actual lettering, but it's the colour choices. It's just about how easy it is to read.
Yeah.
But we digress. It's a fantastic cover. It's a really colourful bull. It's one of the ones though that I would then look at and go, see your Warhammer Monthly, change the colour of it.
Yeah, that should be in blues or something because
it's treated like the X-Men logo.
Yep.
They were never wedded to the colour. It's just like, what's the colour? What is the cover image? Let's change the colour accordingly.
Yes, 100%. And it's something that does happen much, much later on down the line. Yeah, the Warhammer Monthly title. The way that they put the covers together changes quite dramatically. It's about somewhere between 40 and 50, I think it is. And it does become a lot easier to read. But on the downside, it becomes the single most 2000s thing you've ever seen.
That is the problem, is people following, again, you get the new tools, you see what everyone else is doing. It's the folly of what is perceived wisdom.
Yeah.
If everyone's doing it, it must be the right thing. No, it's not. I suffered through mid-90s desktop publishing bollocks with horrible CG backgrounds and blue text on dark blue backgrounds and
Oh yeah, making all the hand painters start to paint digitally. Oh, I remember those days well. I remember them well. The pain, absolute pain. Right, so let's get into it then. So, as always, we have the two morons. Inside this comic, Darkblade, the doom of the Druchii is at hand. In this blood-soaked episode, Malus Darkblade faces the wrath of Witch Lord Baelith Bale and his Witch Guard. Bloodquest. Facing insurmountable odds, Leonatus and his exiles manage to battle their way through the Blood Sea, but at what terrible cost? Cal Jericho. In the final part of the Motherlode, Cal and Scabs have found the legendary treasure hoard, but now they face the Guardian, not to mention a raging Vandal Feg. And Titan Vaporius, Hecate and his crew of the Imperious Dictato face the devastating alien swarm known as the Tyranid, but first they must defeat a warrior's greatest fear, themselves. Woohoo.
So,
I do need to draw attention to the orc picture.
tentatively speaking, even glancing at it, there's 3 or 4. Where do I start digging that? It's not the problem with the picture.
No.
We've got a dark grey washed orc with a bolt gun,
Yep.
or las gun or whatever, on a dark grey
Textured background.
CG. It's like clarity. Clarity is the first thing you should be doing as design. I should be able to look at that and go, right, that is a grey. That's a dark grey blob on a slightly lighter grey black background.
Yep.
Fucking just no. And it's just partially cropped from a panel.
Oh no. The only good thing I say about it is that it takes up some of the caption space from the two morons.
I mean, this is not a dig on the quality of the artwork, and I'll judge it properly when we see the story next issue. But come on, just no. And that is clearly, and I've got no doubt that looked properly fine on the monitor they were looking at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But see if you're doing something before you send it to print it off. See, they haven't bothered. Yeah. Because anyone who does any degree of work with artwork will know that I can look at something on one monitor and the balance of it will look different on another monitor because they're not exactly the same.
Yeah.
Just annoying.
I think it's beyond annoying. I think it's genuinely a piss poor piece of design work. And
but the problem is this book does not. There isn't an editor here that's got an eye for design at all, and it's a magazine that doesn't really have a great visual identity.
No, there's a lot of information, like visual information, that's been taken from like the wreath of stuff that they have in the background for White Dwarf and for the rule books and stuff, and it's being placed in here, but there's no real sense of Warhammer Monthly is its own thing. It just feels like an also-ran. It feels like the orphan child of the franchise, and the people behind it should be the ones pushing for it to be the best thing it can be.
Yeah, it's clearly it's just like. It's because again, your publishing background is doing obviously your rule books and your codexes, which, to be fair, function over style for all of them because they need to, because they're the books, and even to be honest, White Dwarf, because it's really just a glorified catalogue / advert.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, the design, whatever your digs at White Dwarf, it was always clean, concise, and easy to read.
Oh yeah,
even at this point. But it's like, this is nonsense.
But I mean, you've got the Inferno stuff happening at the same time. Inferno is clean as hell. It's lovely to look at.
Yeah, I would say that Inferno has no real design identity either, though.
No.
But it hews closer to White Dwarf in terms of how it's put together. But there's no real Inferno's not I don't look at that going. I can see the touch of a designer there and what they brought to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah. Now, as you say, I vaguely remember a lot of changes to this as we go on, and it's one of these things that it's all well and good having an editor, but if you're in publishing, you need a designer as well, or you need your editor to have a design background.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see actually if the editorial team changes, or if it stays being Mark Gascoigne and Andy Jones. Because I mean, Mark Gascoigne and Andy Jones at this point, they are the anthology guys. They're the guys who are commissioning and picking out the stories for the anthology books.
Well, the issue is you have production, it's editors in production.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Mark Bevan and Ian Pickstock. So to me, Mark Gascoigne and Andy Jones are the ones that are just tipping the nod, going, yeah, that's fine. But it's being put together, I would imagine, being put together by Bevan and Pickstock.
Yeah.
But as in they're probably producing the content and doing the donkey work. But yeah, there's no brief. There's nothing to it, and it's really, yeah. Say about 2000 AD, but it has a clear visual identity in every incarnation of the book.
Yep.
in case of who
That's
in
very
charge
true.
and what's there, but it always had a clean look because it would have a lot of it always had an art editor who would design stuff, or they would then go to Ryan Hughes quite often, and just basically go, right, we want a suite of fonts for this, so everything has a look, our look. Go to it. Give us fonts and icons.
Yeah. Shall we get into the letters page? Because there's 2 letters here that I wanted to draw attention to.
Yep.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Well, actually, there's 3 letters. The first one is Fleet Admiral Darksword, Saviour to the Masses, Earth Station 1, Lichfield. He says, please help us. Our situation is desperate. It has been several months since the release of Battlefleet Gothic, and there is still no sign of a Gothic comic strip. Why not? The artwork and illustrations in the rulebook and in White Dwarf are superb, to say the least. A series of strips following the progress of our glorious navy would be warmly welcomed, and sure to raise morale to new heights. Besides, where would you be without us to ferry around the galaxy? It annoys me that they don't respond with a little bit of an explanation about how lead-in works, how it takes a while to get comics sorted, that they have to wait for Battlefleet Gothic to be released to make sure that it was a big enough seller to make a comic about. Yeah. Missed opportunity.
Yeah. I did like the letter of the month just because he pointed out he liked the way that they took out the time, which is something we commented on.
Yes.
I said it was more about the way the Ravenwing killed the Gargant and the Orc army. So yes, you're quite correct.
Well, Ross Bowman from the USA, he's absolutely right. Yeah, I think Bloodquest 2 is awesome. You are correct. It's everything that Warhammer Monthly should be. You are correct. The artwork is beautiful and the story is much more plausible. You are correct. If you are Russ Bowman and you hear this, please get in contact because you are correct.
Yes.
But the other one I wanted to do is one Matt Smith, and I'm going to pretend that it is the Matt Smith who eventually became the Doctor.
Or see, there's multiple Matt Smiths. There's also the Matt Smith who is a US comic artist who did Daydreamer and did an adaptation of The Keep with F. Paul Wilson, faithful to the book, not the film. And there's also the Matt Smith who is the longest-serving Tharg in 2000 AD.
Yep. Oh man, it's more chance it's the Tharg Matt Smith, really, isn't it? Now I come to think about it. Yeah. So he writes. Thought I'd write again to compliment you on the quality of the Redeemer miniseries. Wrong. It brings a much-needed quality of humour to the comic, and some of Wayne Reynolds' little touches really add to it. Right. I love the Redemptionists, especially Brother Betrak. Bring him back. Yes, I know he's dead, but how cool would a plague-ridden, assault cannon-wielding zombie Redemptionist be? Correct. Another request for future Warhammer Monthly stories is historical-based strips, perhaps an epic tale of the Great Crusade ending with a battle between Horus and the Emperor. Ha ha! You've got 30 years to wait for that. Maybe the rise and fall and subsequent rise again of Nagash and Araby. They're just a few suggestions which I hope you take on board. And as much as it would be very easy to rag on somebody who liking the Redemptionist, the reason I wanted to draw attention to that one is there is a long-running problem with letters pages, which is people coming up with ideas and sending them in. And that means that most comic creators will then go, hands off, that idea is not being used for anything ever.
Yes. It's one of the things that if you are in the creative industry and someone gives you an unsolicited idea, they will not look at it.
Nope.
Because if they or anyone affiliated with them decides to do a story anything similar, they're open to litigation. And particularly to do with the way naming and shaming the country of fucking arseholes, America. Sorry, but you elected a president who's an arsehole.
Yep.
You may not directly voted for him, but too many of your countrymen did. You had the ridiculous guy trying to sue Fox, who I have no love for, Alan Moore, for League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, claiming it was based on a screenplay he'd sent to them.
Yes, I remember that.
Which is one of the final nails in the coffin of Alan Moore having to working with a lot of American publishers after the fact. Yeah. Which has its upsides, because then you get Illuminations, which is one of the weirdest reads I've ever had, and just everything that Alan Moore... Well, 80% of what Alan Moore has done since has been at least an interesting experience.
Some of it, however, is Lost Girls and shouldn't ever be read.
I can't say I've actually read it.
Good, you win.
Not that I don't really want to seek out, because just like, fair enough. So, okay, I can see what you want to do. You're talking about erotic and pornography, which is interesting in terms of value judgments and morality. So, I think the idea of Lost Girls is more interesting than Lost Girls itself. But I've not read it to comment on the quality of it. So, I love Alan Moore. It annoys me when people go on about Alan Moore being a grumpy old man. It's like, he's not, from all accounts.
No.
The issue is, everyone asks him the same fucking questions when they talk about comics.
Yeah.
And it's like, if he got fucked over by DC with Watchmen, charitably, if you want to be as charitable as you can, he was naive in the contract he signed. But again, this was in uncharted waters in terms of what graphic novels and things would be collected in print.
Yeah.
However, they've screwed him over multiple times. Why are you fucking asking about it?
Yeah. You're
only going to get grumpy old man answers.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think Alan Moore is probably one of the most interesting people out there in the creative circles, because that man has more ideas during the day than most people have in their lifetimes. The guy is genuinely on and I don't mean this insultingly, he's on another world. Yeah, he's completely detached from ours, and he's on a different level of reality.
All you need is like, sorry, but he in the dark days of the 90s, he made some of the Image books readable.
Yeah,
the stuff he did on Wildcats was brilliant. Stuff he did with Rob Liefeld's Youngblood Supreme and all that, brilliant.
Yeah.
Well,
he made Supreme interesting rather than just another Superman knockoff.
Well, Superman by way of Cable minus the guns.
Yeah.
Basically, Supreme was originally. But yeah, it's like, but you need to look at it. Some of his best work is not what you think. Chrono Cops with the Future Shock with Dave Gibbons, brilliant. One of the best time travel up there with Bill and Ted and Back to the Future in terms of following the mechanics and the flow logic for doing a time travel story spotlessly.
Yeah. God, I haven't read that in years. Very, very long time.
One of these tales I'll generally look at, again, it's Dave Gibbons' artwork in black and white, so you can eat your dinner off it.
Oh, yeah. Yum, 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 yum.
He's also written and sung possibly one of the finest songs of all time. And if I've not mentioned it on this podcast before now, I apologise, but do yourself a favour, go to YouTube, type in The March of the Sinister Ducks.
Yep.
I'm giving you no hints, no nothing. Read it, and listen to it and enjoy it.
Absolutely. And as we all know, as Pop Will Eat itself almost told us, Alan Moore knows the score.
He does. But yes, I'm a big fan of a lot of his sort of lesser spotted stuff.
Yeah. I just thought it was some interesting conversation jumping off points in the letters page. So, right then, I also realised that what I'm trying to do is prolong getting into Darkblade as long as I physically can.
So let's go. Darkblade, Book 2, Part 8, No Quarter, script Dan Abnett, art Kev Hopgood. So get into it. So it's basically nice, great first page splash page panel of Darkblade, sword raised, ready to fight, charging towards the enemy, crossbow bolt firing. Who's first? So he's going out for a fight. The assembled Witch Guard are there. They're all standing there, which is nice. So it means he can shoot one of them square in the head. Headshot.
Right through the helmet. Oh, God. Yikes.
So you basically got him just going mental, having a fight scene. And he's basically cutting his way through them all. So Malice Darkblade, Drushi Destroyer has no soul. It was stolen from him by the Daemon Zarkan. For months now he has quested to find the Daemon and regain his precious spirit. And in that time he has earned the blood enmity of these warriors, the Witch Guard of the Black Arch ship Nagor. Now his quest has foundered, and that should be floundered.
Yeah.
And he lost here in the sense-consuming marsh of Dedrica. And here the Witch Guard have caught up with him. Only now he realises no escape from these marches. Any who enter are lost forever. The Witchguard know this and care not. The fire of vengeance heats their blood. But it's one of these. It's like it's a very nicely choreographed fight scene. The third page. Just he's ploughing on. They're going towards him. He's not letting them encircle them, and he's just wiping them out.
Yep.
While they may be hardened warriors and crazed and ready for the kill, they're not tactical strategists by any stretch of the imagination.
Quickly, fight him one at a time until he gets tired.
Despair fires Darkblade's veins to have come so far and be so trapped. It makes him eager to turn and face these odds, knowing there is only this left. And he's basically got them all, almost, and he has his sword raised aloft. He's about to behead the last one. Does it, and just as he does, Alnith Bale, Lord of the Witchguard of Nagor, batters him over the back of the head with the hilt of his sword. And drops him. It's like...
Yeah.
And then he picks up the fabled Orb of Malkin, the sword of futures, sacred to the Witchguard. Malice hoped it would lead him to the daemon, but broken and crazed, it cracked, it showed nothing but doom and darkness. And the Witch King picks up and goes, "Here, the precious orb." "No! You destroyed it! Its perfect symmetry, its wonderment has gone." Obviously unhappy.
You broke my Wookiee. Broken or made better.
Yeah. Useless thing. It's like, you cursed the day I ever took it from you, Bale. It's shown me nothing but lies and duplicity. And he's like, that's at least something I will cherish. Lead him, kill him, cast his body to the carrion vermin. So the lone surviving guy that's left just goes, "Your will be done, Witch Lord."
You do get a good page here, though, with the Bale turns around and Spite has just eaten the guy's head.
Yeah.
He looks so satisfied.
Yeah. And it's like, no. It's like, there's no about it. Only me. Only yes. And he stabs him. The orb falls from his hand and shatters. As Darkblade just goes up, goes, "A bitter victory, my loyal steed. We win only to die here, lost and trapped, never to..." And then he looks round. Reality shudders. Now broken open, the Orb of Malkin lets go of the foul magics penned inside its crystal form. And in one last insane moment, Malice Darkblade realises the orb's blackness was a message after all. Deceitful as always, it was showing him that the only escape from the marches of Dedrica was to shatter the orb. And... Yep.
Yeah.
And then last reality opens. You get a splash page of he's in the realm of chaos, into a world of blood. Another splash page. Him and his steed surrounded by energy, where there's a weird effect, CG effect background out there.
Mm-hmm.
Next, screaming Godchild. Just
whoa. What
again?
The shit? Just this is beyond nothing. Yeah,
it's as we said, the big points about Darkblade and the big problems it has is, one, Darkblade without a soul is no different than Darkblade with a soul.
No.
So he's questing for something that we've not seen any cost of or any difference to him. There is nothing about it that's causing him problems. The orb has given no message about shattering it. That's shite pulled out your arse to get to the next stage. This is weapons grade dog shit.
Yeah.
Lovingly illustrated. Kev Hopgood, you deserve better. This is pish.
But it's
nothing to it.
The only thing I really want to talk about from this is that the opening couple of pages, Hopgood feels like he's channeling something much older here. Like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's like a sense of like late 70s, 2000 AD or something. I can't quite get to it, but it's reminding me of something from that kind of era, and I love it. I love the artwork. It kind of settles back into what you'd expect Darkblade to be as he goes along, but those first two pages, there's something there that just makes you think of like real vintage British comics.
Well, it's the more rigid grid structure that he has for pages 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, although there's a little bit of slightly askew bits, it's still a classic six-panel grid, and then the four-panel widescreen that would get done to death in the 2000s.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. But yeah, as an entry into Darkblade, it is just yet more nothing.
Yeah, it's we get the narration that, again, if it was an engaging story, would work, but there's nothing engaging about it because there's nothing to hang on, because it's like, it's always the problem when you're making a villain your lead protagonist in any kind of ongoing tale. Because make no mistake, he's a villain.
Yeah.
What? Not saying that Dark Elves are inherently evil. Just in case there are any Dark Elf fans out there who are saying I'm
being elfist. Yeah.
He's a wrong one. Now, there's a history of villains getting their own title in comics, but they tend to be generally interesting.
Yeah.
They tend to skew to the funny.
Yeah.
Is what makes it work. Or supremely cool. I give you Deathstroke the Terminator.
Yep.
Lobo.
Mm-hmm.
Deadpool. Because make no mistake, he's technically a villain when he starts off. Because at that point, he's just a mercenary / assassin. These aren't good guys.
No.
So you go along. Strictly speaking, and the thing is, there are people who potentially aren't the most interesting of characters who sustained their own title for quite a period of time. Punisher being probably the poster child for it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because that's a wafer thin character.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, and having read a lot more Punisher comics than really should have, because a vast ways of them aren't great, but there was always interest and stakes and drama, usually drawn in through circumstance and the supporting cast. Darkblade failed to do that.
Well, he doesn't have a supporting cast.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's also just the antagonists that come in are just...
Well, they're as two-dimensional as he is. There's no sense of threat because Malice constantly fails upwards, or succeeds without trying. There's no supporting cast to be able to pull on in order to get any kind of characterization or any humor or anything. The closest thing you get is Spite eating someone's head, which that's flailing desperately to try and find something positive to talk about. The fact that half the real estate for this entry is just a bring you back up to speed for everything that's happened so far, which is about the third time it's happened. And there's nothing wrong with a paragraph, a caption or two to get you up to speed. That's fine, because every issue is going to be someone's first. That's fine. But the amount of space this uses to get there is insane.
It's also the fact that it's like, there's just nothing to these guys. It's just you're the next pack of goons to die, and your boss is there. And again, the whole point is you've got this quest about this to get his soul back from the demon. It's like, but as I said, there's no tangible detriment to him not having this soul. No,
at least when he had the demon in him, you had a countdown. It didn't really signify anything in the story, but at least there was a reason. There was, you have a year to do this in. Oh, absolutely. Did it have any kind of effect on the story? No.
Not really. It could have done, but I mean, even if you're just doing something like he's lost his soul, so what's happening? He's withering and dying.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, even just simple things like, I can't taste food. Even just it was like, I can't taste food anymore.
Yeah. Something like in this where he starts talking about the blood. Why is that not something he's getting more and more focused on? The subtle, just constant removal of the mortal traits, and it's just more and more violence for violence sake. That might be the plan, but it's not coming across. Nothing is coming across because Darkblade continues to be nothing. Just absolutely nothing. And I don't think there's much more conversation we can have about this that isn't just more of the same.
Yeah. So let's go on to there's something much more interesting.
Yes.
So, Bloodquest, Book 2, Episode 5, script from Gordon Rennie, art by Colin McNeil, letters from Stevenson. Here we go.
Roar! In the demon world of Eidolon, where Blood Angel Captain Leonatus must undergo a series of deadly challenges if he is to reclaim the lost sword of Belarius. The latest obstacle he must overcome in his quest, single combat with the demon Prince of Khorne. We're back up to speed.
In 2 boxes.
2
Panel,
boxes.
2 boxes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
God damn. You fight bravely, Lord Leonatus, but my master humbly suggests that the battle is now over. He thanks you for your efforts, and wishes you to know how much he's looking forward to separating your head from your body, and feasting on the soul inside. My master commends you on your loyalty to your leader, but wishes you to know in advance that your efforts are wasted. I love these two. They're amazing.
It's the fact that once he downs Leonatus, he just turns his back on him. It's like, you're already dead.
Yep.
It's a nice bit of business, and it's like, yeah, it's like, I know I've won. It's like, I've chopped you once, you're going to get up, and I'll turn around and do you again.
Stay right there. I'm going to enjoy removing your head. I just need to kill all of your little insects first. Back in a moment.
Yeah, so one of the guys goes on and goes to attack him, and he gets wounded for his troubles with the chain axe.
The mouth. If you could be patient a moment more, he will deal with you all in turn. It's just murder via bureaucracy. It is incredible. It's absolutely brilliant. I love this.
Yeah, it's like Proteus, Lysander, C to Palamon, and the brother captain. I was like, turns to his by Cloten's like, with you, brother sergeant. So the two of them charged towards the Demon Prince. Cloten with his big, massive power axe. The sergeant with a bolt pistol and a broken combat knife.
Yes.
It's nice to see a combat knife, though.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
It's like this.
It's weird, but yeah, I'm happy to see proper loadouts.
Exactly, I do like an authentic loadout. So Cloten buries the power axe in the chest of the Demon Prince.
Chud!
And just gets backhanded by the chain axe for his trouble.
Bamf! Oh, I love a good sound effect. Yeah.
And
Leonatus,
his feet scream out for his sergeant. Tranny was like, "Forget about me, my lord. You and the other brethren must get away while you still can." It's like, "Continue your quest, brother captain. Find the sword and return with it to Baal. Nothing else matters." And at that point, he has a chain axe to the hand, so his bolt pistol is done.
Yep. Any last words, human, before our master tears out your spinal column and fashions it into a necklace for one of his favorite demon brides? Well, human, my master is waiting. Just this warp spawn. Will his brides find your master so appealing once I've detonated a crack grenade down his throat? Oh, yes. Blows the Demon Prince's head right off. Just wonderful stuff. Wonderful.
And both he and the Demon Prince fall into the water. The tentacles go there, and he does his wee Lady of the Lake pose with his hand, and has still got his broken combat knife in his hand as he's dragged down to the depths.
Yep. Proper Terminator 2. Just needs to get his thumb out.
Yep.
Yeah, as that's happening, though, the ships are all getting attacked by the tentacles. Emperor's Oath, something's definitely happening. The blood...
You'll see a big, shadowy demon spewing lightning from his mouth.
Yep. Proper Realm of Chaos level greatness. The Blood God is angry. You have defeated his champion and so won the right to safe passage into the realm of the next power of chaos. See how he takes out his anger on those who have failed him. See how... Oh. Yeah! As Leonatus yeets him over the side of the boat.
Yes, and you see all out to the awaiting tentacle beasts below, and basically they they're cast adrift, so they disappear out of there as all of the remaining crafter and demons and beastmen and chaos warriors are basically pulled beneath the seas to drown.
Yeah.
And so their battered ship, because it no longer has a mast, so it's just floating there based on the currents. It goes, and there's a shadowy coastline in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
So they run aground. They're about to run aground, and it's like, wherever this place is, we've been washed up on. It seems clear that our journey must now continue overland. And Brother Palamon, has his condition improved any at all? His wound is infected, my lord, and infection continues to spread. It may be because he was struck down by a demon weapon, or it may be because it's the poison air in this place. Then it seems we have little other choice. We go ashore and continue our quest. We enter that city and we face whatever new horrors are already awaiting us there. Next, City of the Plague God, which made me laugh. It's like, well, he's infected, is he? Maybe don't take him in there. Now, to be fair, there is nothing obvious at this point to mark that out as a Nurgle temple.
No, it's big skulls, and it looks a little bit too cornate. There is a Nurglite symbol above the door, but it's quite hard to see, which is probably more to do with the scan that we're working off rather than anything else. But, oh, God, yes, please. This is, once again, Rennie does this amazing job of keeping the action flowing, these wonderful little bits of grim humour all the way throughout. This is top notch. Like, genuinely, when I read the, I keep calling him the mouth, but the herald, whatever he is, his little had me rolling. That's hilarious.
Yes, it's getting your bleak humour in without undermining the tone of the book.
Yeah,
and it's always one of these things is when you're doing kind of, you're trying to do, humour should always be there to undercut it or punctuate to give your viewer a bit of relief before the next thing.
Yeah,
that's why jokes have their place in like action films and what have you. But it's about if you put too many in and don't put them in the right place, it kills it. That's brilliant because you just have and it's clearly he's a ridiculous figure,
mm-hmm.
and it's intended, and it's like, but he is never, because he's not the actual focal threat. You can get away with him being that all the way through because you've got the more violent guy. That's the actual danger, and it doesn't diminish from him.
No. Oh, but I mean, altogether, Bloodquest just keeps going from strength to strength. This book too has been, each issue I think has been slightly better than the one before it.
It's
absolutely
top
notch.
Again, we've talked at length at how gorgeous Colin McNeil's art is, so I'm going to do so. But it's I've talked about this at the time, is you don't have a lot of space in these pages to do stuff. So it's about economy. It's about using everything properly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have time to waste. So everything, there has to be a sense of movement. Everything's in service of the story. There's no self-indulgence. You're having your laugh. You're getting your wee moment. You're getting your shots. But you'll notice no big massive splash page.
No.
Even in a fight scene, it's like, no, we don't need it.
No.
And you've got like a half page for the first one to set the tone, which is basically telling you, oh wait, Leonard's up against the threat, it's not going well.
No, I mean, the fact that you have him with his armour being absolutely reamed. Yeah, it's... The two bits that I love here is when you've got Clotus and Clotus and the other one just running along with that black inked background with that slightly misty white in the background. It is, god damn, that's some gorgeous work.
And again, what I've said from the start is this is a story with weight.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, as I said, is Colin McNeil does these things with the characters that it's what they do. They're not acrobatic, elegant. You're not getting Spider-Man action shots here because they can't. They're in fucking suits of armor, so your mobility is compromised right from the start. So all the fight scenes, so he's having to, again, you can't cheat and do over-exaggerated anatomy or exaggerate shots. It's like they are limited by the bulk and heft of the armor that they're all in.
Mm-hmm.
So the fight scenes have a heft to them, and it's about the economy of violence. Now, it's one of these things that's always, if I'm having to expend energy in a fight, that's a waste of energy.
Yeah.
It should just be what it's taken to get the job done. If you're flailing and diving about, it means you don't know what you're doing or you're fucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's why I like. It's why there are certain characters who do that because it's their style. Like a Spider-Man, you want him jumping and diving about. But why it always annoys me with over theatrical Batman fights.
Yeah.
Batman should basically be here's a criminal coming towards me. Bang.
Yes. Well, the character of Batman is always going to be the economy of how much effort is going to take me to take one person down, because there's going to be 3 more in a minute.
Yeah. It's like if anyone has read the Kurt Busiek, George Perez, JLA Avengers crossover, the one-page not fight scene between Batman and Captain America.
Yeah.
Where they basically feint and touch, and there's basically block, and it goes to end, and both of them come to the same conclusion as, I could win, but he could just as easily win, and it would take too much out of me to do it. Let's actually have a conversation and see if we can sort things out. You're like, it's a beautiful piece of business.
Yep.
rather than, let's say, punching lumps at each other. They realise, no, it's that. But again, it's this. It's like they can't just do big acrobatic moves. It is going to be punch, kicky, stab.
Yeah. Thunk, crunch.
And again, so is this Damon Prince, because he's clearly not. It's also very clear he's not very powerful.
No.
Because there's not a hint of him going back into the Immaterium. This is very much you're at the very early stages of being a Damon Prince.
Yeah, he's still mostly mortal. He hasn't fully ascended yet.
Yeah, you've got the marks, you've got some gift, but that's it.
Yeah.
And clearly, because you're still on the high seas, you haven't won the battle yet. So therefore, you aren't good enough. So once he's done, and again, it's why it's a nice bit. It's like the demon from Jump in the Fire single cover comes out at the end to kill everyone, because basically. Yeah, go and look at the single cover for Jump in the Fire from Metallica. Tell me that is not the boy. He's moonlighting. He's. I mean, it's been tough. He needs the money.
Yep.
He's got kids.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I can see it without having to Google it. I am 100% behind you on that one.
Just looks like Shadow, just like, I need the money. I'll pretend I'm some kind of corn thing. What is corn? Thought they were a metal band. Oh, well.
Oh, don't speak to me about corn, you metal. Oh, I won't be able to work in years.
Yeah. But no, so it's a lovely piece of it. The story's about, like I say, it's paced perfectly. I see, it is. See, we've talked about fetch quests a lot, so without labouring the point, but this is a fetch quest done right.
Mm-hmm.
There's stakes, there's jeopardy. They are overcoming it, but if you notice, any time they overcome something, they're disadvantaged at every opportunity.
Yeah.
They're winning, but not without cost.
Yeah.
And to contrast it with Darkblade, whereby, oh look,
he's won again.
But at what cost? Oh, he's in another realm, but he's escaped from the other one. Who cares?
Yeah.
But here you've got the stakes of they're low on troop, low on ammunition, low on supplies, and now even lower on troops. They've lost one. You have to argue is like he sacrificed himself. It's like they've only got so many to go.
Yeah.
They're now
down to 5. I think it is.
Yeah.
5 or 6. But yeah, I love this. I genuinely love this. So this is like, this is it done right. And yeah, I think this is a good issue all in all, which we'll get to some of the other bits in a moment. But as an entry into the Bloodquest, it just keeps getting better. And I'm loving this constant evolution of McNeil's art. It's not the big change that we've had from book 1 to book 2 with the washed inks and everything, but there's just this continuous refinement of how the Space Marines look and how how everything moves around. And it is top-notch work.
But it is one of these things in terms of for any work you're doing like that, the more you do it, the easier it gets. You become used to it. You're not having to think as much. Things become muscle memory as you just do it. But no, it's let's say it's the fact we've talked about. It's like a case of it's a fetch quest, all right. There's not really a huge amount to hang the characters on at the moment, but you're not. But that's not what you're here for. The stakes are the sword.
Yeah.
And candy on the back. The plot is what you're at, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I say when you're dealing with small installments, plot takes place over characterization, but you get some nice bits in, and it has mostly been with the antagonists.
Yeah.
However, that's generally the rule of most of these things. Your antagonists tend to be more interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. And Reddy has created some absolutely wonderful villains for the piece. I think that the least interesting one has been the demon prince that took over the orc, and that's purely because the nature of what he is. He's just going to be a big posturing growly thing.
Yeah.
But genuinely, I think the two in this, the corn lord and his little mouth, are wonderful. I think I love them. I love them to bits. I'm going to make miniatures of them because they're great.
And now sadly gone, but forever in our hearts, along with that Beastman chap. they joined the ranks of the honoured dead.
Yeah, Barry the Minotaur. Yeah. Yep. Right, we move on to Cal Jericho in the Motherlode, episode 4.
Again, the boy Rennie, art by Carl Kapinski and letters by Gordon Robson. So,
I just want to really point out here that whilst Abnett has done some amazing work, Rennie really is the heavy load lifter of Warhammer Monthly, isn't he?
In terms of it, yeah, but he's basically he's given us the satisfying fetch quest story.
Mm-hmm.
He has introduced arguably what hopefully should go on to be the signature character for the book, and again, it's a case of hasn't really say there's been minor quibbles on bits, but it hasn't really put a foot wrong so far. Touch wood.
No. I just think it's interesting that Abnett's kind of always been I'm not in any way shitting on Abnett, but Abnett's always kind of been seen as the poster boy for Black Library. At this point,
I think that really comes from the books, though. To be fair,
yeah.
Because, having read obviously the Horus Heresy books and what have you,
I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, yeah, Gordon Rennie wrote Savant, the Sherlock Holmes, who's a old world wizard, and his halfling Watson. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's really good stuff.
It's true, but you can tell he's just like, that'll do. I've no grand ambitions on a big sequel, whereas they've clearly, in terms of building a large overall narrative, they kind of went to Abnett for.
Yeah.
So you can start off the Horus Heresy and you can basically end it.
Mm-hmm. And, his work in the Horus Heresy is the best work in the Horus Heresy. There's no two ways around that. But I just think that right now, in the space year of 1999, it's just interesting that Gordon Rennie's the one that's pulling out the best work. He's...
Well, it tends. Well, that's the thing. Is things we're looking back some 20 plus years on it, but the reason is to go back to 2008. Pat Mills talks about it in a couple of interviews and documentaries. Is that the Dread to start with was not the one that the readers were clamoring for.
No,
but in the bizarrely one that was better receiving was Mac 1. That's John Probe. He's basically the Bionic Man / style rip-off thing.
I remember him. But I'm just
in the
confused.
2008, for those that were too young and have no ideas, in every issue they had a little cutout bit where you could write in with your top 3 stories.
Mm-hmm.
Or top 3 thrills, I should say, and send them into Tharg. Now, the thing is, clearly speaking, the teenage demographic ain't fucking doing that.
No.
That's very much... I can't know. I'd have to buy another one. So you're generally getting that from the kids that the book was aimed at, because let's not forget, 2008 is a kids' comic. Was a boys' comic.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's that from that. That's what it was done, because it was done by the boys' comic department in IPC at the time.
Yes.
So this, I'm saying it's a boys' comic. That's what it was, and it was for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that the younger readership engaged with that more than Dread to start with, and to be honest, early Dread is. I have a soft spot for a lot of it, but Dread, it takes, I think, from the cursed earth and the day the law died is where Dread finds its feet, and once those are done, the ground it doesn't look back.
No.
But it's not the Dread you think of. Go and read the Judge Dredd case files 1 and 2.
Well, that's where the Judge Dredd strip comes from, doesn't it? The newspaper strip is the pre-Cursed Earth stuff, and that's wonderful.
No, it's a little bit later than that, because that's because Ron Smith. Yeah, it's 82, 83. We're past Judge Death at this point. We're in. Yeah, it's because the Apocalypse War happens during this strip, because it's remarked upon in one of them. No, the news a little bit later, but it's at the time. No, it's the strips at the time where they found their feet. They know what they're doing. Like Wagner and Grant are just like, yeah, we know, we've got this.
I always thought that they were late 70s.
Nope.
Weird. The more you know. I was just going to say, I've got a weird love of early Dread. It's not Dread. It's not. It's like an alternate reality version of Dread. It's like the light fantastic to the rest of the Discworld.
Yeah, it's the Dread with the housekeeper, idling every so often, his niece.
Mm-hmm.
You learn about Rico, but like I say, that's maybe one of the first starts of where Dread starts to take on a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But it's the Cursed Earth, the day the law died, is where Dread kind of locks in. And then, like I say, after that, we're flat.
It just keeps burning along. Right, so, as I say, Cal Jericho, the Motherlode, Episode 4. It must be reported that our holy mission to bring light into the light of the Emperor into the darkness of the Underhive continues to meet with little success, with the locals preferring to seek spiritual solace from a wide range of heretical creeds. Particularly virulent are the spider cults of the deepest levels of the Hive, where it is rumoured that monstrous creatures lurk in remote caverns, worshipped as gods by the degenerate inhabitants thereof. It can only be with some degree of relief that I write to inform your grace that I find no evidence of the existence of such blasphemous abominations as yet. And the picture, the full page spread we get, is a giant spider eating 2 people, not just the one that he ate last issue, 2, as everybody else books it for the hills. Yep. Run away, shouts Scabs in the most glorious panic I've ever seen on the printed page.
So the interesting part, the end of the text was a letter from Missionaries Galaxy of Freighter Udo KS to Cardinal Hugo the 24th, I think, of the Palatine Cluster. Freighter KS later read it, tried and executed on charges of harbouring insufficient puritanical zeal. Yeah, it's like basically based on our experience of the Hive World, there's fucking nothing but giant spiders down there.
Yeah. You can't move for giant spiders.
It's just you want the grandpa from the Lost Boys to come out at the end. You know the thing I hate about Nick Mother? All the goddamn spiders.
People get annoyed at the end of that film, and I don't understand why. That's such a great ending.
Yeah, it's like the film is inherently ridiculous. It should have a ridiculous ending,
and it genuinely does. It's great. Speaking of ridiculous, however, the second part of this strip, it's only page 2, which had me proper laughing, is faster, go faster, you fools, as these poor buggers are trying to run this paladin as fast as they can.
I'm not being funny, but at this point, it's like giant spider, horrible fat boss, see you later.
Yeah.
Because you don't have. Remember, when you're running away from an enemy, you don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be faster than the slowest guy.
Yep. And while they're just dropping him, I was creased at that. It's just faster! As the
manages to grab two guys pulling his plinth at the.
It's a palanquin. He looks like the type of guy who would call it a palanquin.
And it's fantastic. It's like, and he's looking back as he sees the carapace of the spiders that's getting to come down to us. We're like, no, not me. And then the deadliest weapons in all of 40k, last pistols are brought to bear.
And they do about as much damage as you'd expect. Oh, good, Cal. Now we're going to die without even the satisfaction of seeing Lud get eaten before us. And I don't even think you're hurting it with those last pistols. I'm not trying to hurt it, Scabs. I'm trying to draw it out into the right position for what I've got planned next. As Cal shoots up into the air and blows off some of the stalactites. Tights go down. Yeah,
I'm trying to remember the Harry Hill thing.
Stalactites. Yeah, stalactites. And it's stalactites, not stalactites.
Yeah.
So he shoots
and mate. Yeah.
He shoots them and they fall, crushing the giant spider, which, once again, giant spider gets killed very easily. Now, yes, whilst giant spiders seem to be everywhere, they also seem to be ridiculously easy to kill.
If you happen to have a stalactite to hand.
Of course, yeah.
The natural predator of the house spider.
The stationary, sharp, pointy rock. Natural predator of the giant god spider.
I want a story where there's just a high spider that just stays outside a plane. Just looks at him as like, nah, my uncle went in there once, never came back.
Admitted that was rather impressive, wasn't it? What was that thing? Some kind of hive spider, mutated to giant size. It could have been hibernating here for centuries until the hivequakes woke it up. Must be why the scavies have been on the warpath recently. They've been out hunting for sacrifices to feed the thing. Yeah, so you think they'll feel good about us killing off their god then? And just to make things more interesting, another hivequake! You get Lud. Help me, Jericho. Please don't leave me here, please. I wouldn't leave you, Lud. We're partners, remember? Besides, I still need you. Emperor bless you, my boy. I knew you wouldn't forget your old friend Guzman Lud. Yes, I still need you, Lud, as a diversion for those scavies. Yeet! Jericho!
Back down the hill, and he takes out a couple of the scabies, and the rest all look at him. Scabs is like, that's as much fun as it looked. Even better, I assure you. Before something else goes wrong.
Before we get into what goes wrong, I do want to point out, I love the fact that he's only pulled Lud up so he can get more traction on the push.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Ah.
And also just the damage, the slope behind him to make it difficult for them to run up after him.
Yep. True.
And then the something goes wrong is Vandal Feg comes out from his cave in. It's like, oh, Scav, not him, not now.
No, got you now, pretty boy. Feg, you don't understand. I understand this, pretty boy. You ain't gonna get away from old Vandal Feg a second time. You got any more of that? Got any more of that fancy talk to say now, bounty hunter? As a matter of fact, yes. You really don't get any brighter, do you, Feg? As Feg is once again taken out by a rockfall.
Well, he's kicked into the rockfall.
Yeah.
And Scabs, who has wasted no time, while Feg was having a go at Cal, had already legged it to the entrance.
Yep. Because sensible. Very sensible. Cal and Scabs made it back to the relative safety of the Sumpole Tavern, their dreams of untold wealth postponed to some later date. Vandal Feg continued to prove harder to kill than Cal imagined, and you can be sure that Cal and Scabs will be hearing from him again. The surviving scavies came out better than anyone else. They may have lost their spider god, but the capture of Guzman Lud ensured many a happy feast for a long time to come.
And you then have the body of a large fat man on a spit roast.
That's dark. Oh my god, I genuinely did not expect this to be how it ends, with just a series of absolutely brilliant, hilarious deaths. It's so good.
I mean, we talked about. It's like how it would be important to stick the landing for Cal in terms of when you're doing the first of sort of longer stories, and through it you've got to, because if he's only in it for like a little bit, you're going to have to see more of him. So we've seen he's competent.
Yep.
He's very savvy. He's clearly loyal to Scabs.
Yes. Yeah.
So
what I really like about this is you're seeing how quick on his feet Cal is.
Yeah.
He's using the environment around him constantly. The environment shifts and changes. He's using that to his advantage. And it's a very intelligent character that's...
yes, great situational awareness.
Yeah.
So realizing that he's unlikely to be constantly in a position where he's going to be on top or outclass or outgun whoever he's up against. So he's always looking at what can I use, what can benefit me.
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful to see that kind of characterization come through without it being... it's show, don't tell. And that's one of the most important parts of especially visual storytelling. You have the visual, so use the visual. And this is absolutely brilliant use of that.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see Feg back as well. I love Feg. He's...
Yeah. Mean machine all the angel.
Yeah.
But what I clearly like about Cal is he's ruthless when he needs to be, because he's clearly like, oh, could he have gotten Lud out of there? Yes. But objectively, he would know that Lud would turn on him at some point.
Yeah.
I was like, no. Here's my way to be rid of this threat once and for all without any problems.
Yep. Get rid of this threat. It also solves the threat of the scabbies chasing him down. Yeah. Yep. 2 birds, 1 fat man. It's a brilliant... Honestly, that bump as he kicks him off the ledge. Oh.
Yep.
Beautiful bit of cartooning work. So good. Yeah, just all in all, they didn't just stick the landing. I think it is retroactively just made the entire run one of the best things that Warhammer Monthly has done. It's a really solid ending. And I cannot wait to see more Cal.
Yep, again, it's a case of it does the trick of your guy's gone on an adventure, but he's exactly where he needs to be for the next story.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we're not seeing any character growth yet, but what we're seeing is more of the character, which is kind of what we needed. So you're introducing him, you're rounding him out a little bit. It's like, so you're seeing that there's clearly a genuine bond between him and Scabs, and it works both ways.
No, it does. It does.
Like, oh, you're my mate, or all that. It's the actions and what's being done. It's like, no, there's genuine concern for both. Cal clearly will be a little bit ruthless and will mistreat him slightly, and that kind of the way that all double acts seem to do, that the one will be slightly crueler to the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there has to be somebody on the bottom, so to speak, and that is Scabs. It's the Blackadder and Baldric. I mean, you could name hundreds. Yeah, Morecambe and Wise, but
top-notch art from Karl Kapinski throughout as well. Like we've not dwelt on much of it on this part, but glorious again.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can get across the grim humour of Necromunda better than Cal. Cal? No, than Karl. Karl wasn't drawing his own comics. What am I on about? Yeah, he does. Kapinski just does this incredible, just the right amount of cartooning, and it adds so much. I mean, the spider being crushed by the falling stalactites, it is grim and gory, but also the scale is there, and it's nasty. But then just a little bit later on, you get the amazing baff as Lutz is kicked off the side of the...
It's the small touches that I've talked about before. It's like, if you want to suggest scale, you ensure that when you're showing the thing, it's never entirely on panel.
Yeah,
like it goes beyond the panel, and even when you've got as close to full body shot as you can, it's still bleeding off the edge of the panel.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in that it kind of shows you how big it is, and it's the same with the panel when Blood's looking up at it. It's like you've got him down, and you've just got the underside of the spider, and as it's about to go down. So it's not even it's more. It's just the underside getting close to it. And you're like, it's just filling everything up, but you're getting that little bit of white space beneath to show the space as it's coming down, rather than it's just that little suggestion of movement that will coming down upon you.
Yeah, I love the weight that the spider has as well. Yeah, Kaminsky has just given this thing such a heft. Mwah, chef's kiss. It just more of this, please. I am absolutely enamored by the Cal Jericho strips.
Yeah, no, they are fantastic. Again, let's say, when I say Shades of Nikolai Danny, it's not that I'm comparing like for like. It's this archetype, but it's the same, and it's kind of following the same similar patterns, like just gently letting readers become acclimatized and used to it and enjoy it. So,
yeah.
Because it is the problem with sort of humorous rogue characters; they can become very stale very quickly.
Yeah, yeah. They need to kind of have a constant evolution and a constant growth in order to. I mean, you can get a couple of years out of a character being the same character, but you have to have your eye on where it's going to go and how you're going to improve that. And a lot of the times, it's by adding a collection of misfits and oddballs as secondary characters.
Yeah, because you want to grow the character to a point, but if you take it beyond it, you potentially go beyond the core concept, and it then loses its appeal. So there's a juggling act to it. I mean, we're only a handful of stories in, so there's no danger of that.
No.
But you had to see, would the way a Cal Jericho story is presented lend itself to multiple installments? Because there are also certain characters who only work in short bursts.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because it's just they don't suit it. It's like, to go back to Lobo. Lobo got an ongoing comic because it sold. It's like, no, Lobo miniseries was always the way to go.
Yeah, miniseries and one-shots. Yeah.
Just little burst of it, you can take it, and then it always goes back to the how can we miss you, we don't go away.
Yeah, yeah.
There's certain characters or things that don't lend themselves to sticking about constantly. So you then look for those again. Something like a Dread or a Batman, where there's such a focal point and an established world that you can move and drift in and out and change the story. But there's also certain characters where they are so intrinsic to the story that, like a rogue trooper to borrow, or Nemesis the Warlock.
Mm-hmm.
If Nemesis the Warlock had been in every single prog, you'd be dull. Like, no, I need this.
Yeah.
This needs to go away so I can digest what I've already read and enjoy it, let it percolate, filter, come back for the next one.
Yeah. Otherwise, you get the 90s Wolverine problem, where you couldn't move for Wolverine. And by the time you hit the 2000s, Wolverine was just... people were sick of Wolverine. Yeah, the Punisher, actually, because you mentioned the Punisher earlier on. Punisher is a perfect example of that.
Oh, it's always the things public for mainstream, particularly mainstream US superhero publishers, because it was like Wolverine was really well policed. Because everyone forgets he didn't get his ongoing until 88.
Mm-hmm.
But he then effectively becomes the lead in Marvel Comics Presents.
Yeah.
Partway through its run, which is not a bad thing. The first story, it's all right, but then you get Weapon X.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get the Peter David, Sam Keith Blood Hungry.
Yeah.
So two great high points, but you got that. Wolverine's got his ongoing. He's nominally in one of the X-Men books, but they'll try and find a way to feature him in that, and then he becomes the guest star. Derek here did the same with Ghost Rider.
Mm-hmm.
The same Punisher you've mentioned. It's always, and again, but DC were the same with in the 80s. It was like, how are we going to get Batman to guest star in this comic? Yes.
Yeah.
It's always this character sells. We bring it in. Can we get a bump, and then can you stay? It's not a bad thing, but overexposure on certain characters. There are certain characters who you can throw them everywhere, and they can kind of ride it out. Batman is one of them. Spider-Man probably being the other.
Yeah, I would say you could probably do it with Captain America as well. Depending on the writers, obviously, but.
I think the problem with Captain America is that there's only so much you can do. I don't think he's that flexible a character.
I don't know. I think you've got enough there that you could be able to create something with almost any character. Yeah. I mean, this is only my kind of thinking about it. You throw Captain America into a Ghost Rider story, you're going to have to deal with the fact that, oh God, I am a good Christian boy, and this is an actual Satan. Yeah, I always think there's something you can do with the fish out of water man at a time stuff with Captain America in almost any situation.
And the problem is the Cap is only good in the hands of certain writers.
Yeah,
that's the Batman. Generally, even the worst writers can pull out a half decent Batman.
I don't know. I've read some. I've read Just Imagine Stan Lee creates Batman.
Well, that's basically Stan getting to do, and that's not Batman. That's just, we've given you the name. What would you do with a character called Batman?
Nothing good.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see how much of that Stan actually even wrote.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's probably just a little prefix and basic idea, and then somebody else goes through it for him.
Possibly. So we take our leave of Jericho, and so we've finished the filling of the Gordon Rennie sandwich. So we're now on to the other slice of bread that is Dan Abnett and Titan Viviporius.
Dan Abnett sandwiches. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, it's a Gordon Rennie sandwich because Gordon Rennie's the villain.
Yeah. And
Dan Abnett served us one slice of mouldy bread so far. Can he redeem himself with something nice and tasty?
Well, the problem with a sandwich is one slice of mouldy bread's enough to ruin the entire sandwich. So yes, script by Dan Abnett, pencils by Anthony Williams, and inks and letters by Andy Lanning. We are on Viporius. Hecate, I am not afraid. I am not afraid. I am Princeps Hecate of the Titan Warlord Imperius Dictato. I have become used to being feared. I have come to this world Viporius to rid it of the tyrannid abomination. I am not afraid. I am a giant. I am a god. My weapons easily dismember the tyrannid monsters that terrify and slaughter Imperial infantry. They are as flies to me. They're all over us. Thousands of us. They'll eat us alive. Silence, Nayland. Look to your post. We mustn't break concentration for a moment. And we are dropped straight into the action. What is your feelings on this first splash panel?
It's a case of I think it needs a bit more black in some of the bits to pop out. It's nice. It's messy, but it's because this is the ongoing horde that's coming towards them.
Yeah.
But there's no. The thing is, on its own, it doesn't work. In the context of the story, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because you get that in the next page. So that's the thing to remember. It's all about storytelling. So if this was just kind of this is your last panel, you'd be like, this is kind of a bit unclear.
Yeah.
It works perfectly fine. I'd like a bit more black in it, to be honest.
It's because you have the big black of the wings and then the big black underneath the dominatrix. It means that the top and bottom gets a bit hard to pass out.
Yeah.
But I mean, the line work's gorgeous. Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, the first time I looked at it, it was a little hard to kind of see anything. And it took me a little while to pass out. Which, to be fair, I'm getting old now and my eyes are not what they used to be. So that might be a me problem.
Sometimes you want things to not be clear deliberately because you're trying to convey that frenetic sense. So it may have been a deliberate choice, which it's fine. But like I say, because in the context of the story, you parse together. It's like, yeah, this is like they'll just briefly look at it because we're in a hectic battle. So you have to kind of remember that. And sometimes as an artist, when you try and do things like that, you will think this idea is cool in your head. And then when it goes out on the page, you can still see what it is because you know the meaning of it, but anyone who's experiencing it can't. That's always kind of you always have to balance that in your mind is cool idea versus readability.
Yeah.
They don't always mesh well, and there's sometimes things you can go in. It's like when people try and do strange panel layouts or off-kilter ones. It's like, I'm wanting to make this effect. Okay, does the effect work? Yes. Does it interfere with my ability to parse what's going on and read the story? If the answer to that is yes, you need to go away and rethink your layouts.
Yeah.
That's what should always be.
Yeah.
Sadly, isn't always. But no, you get, as I say, so we're in the second page, and it's also because you're also further back, so you can see this creatures so far in the distance because they're just surrounded by all the tiny little creatures, and you have Nalans. Basically, it's like the insects crawling all over you.
Yep.
It's that primal reaction to it that most people, not all, because not everyone's bothered by insects, but most people, if insects are swarming on you, that's going to be your fucking reaction. Get them off, get them off, get them off.
Well, what I like about that little section there is it signifies how much they are connected into the Titan. Yeah, you get the feeling that Nalan's feeling it because the way that they're all wired right into the Titan itself.
Because because Hecate is very much afraid. He is just telling himself he's not, but you can tell quite clearly it's like, what the fuck are these? And it's good because it's one of these things that doesn't always get done in lots of fiction when you're dealing with something that is actually properly alien.
Mm-hmm.
It should be a revulsion because there's nothing that you can. There's no common ground.
No, there's no connection whatsoever. This is other, completely and utterly other.
Yeah, I mean, it should be because I mean, you wouldn't have that necessarily reaction with like gene stealers or the hybrids because they're obviously there's a humanoid component to it.
Yeah,
the basic, they are just distorted, mutated, like unclean. So you would have that would go to the more anger, disgust, revulsion. But into an anger pathway, whereas with these things, it's absolute. It would be fear, and hopefully, in a combat situation, you'd want it then to go into the fight response.
Mm-hmm.
As in, you would then push into the revulsion of these are just. But at this point, you've got no frame of reference. They are again. It's why whenever people do designs for aliens or horrific looking creatures, everyone goes to either insect or subsea aquatic creatures because they're built for environments that are not comfortable for humans, so they don't have the same components or the same arrangement, so the sense of the other is always there.
Mm-hmm. And what's it called, Love, Death and Robots and their big tentacle squiddy boys in their Alien episode, like proper skin crawling, like nope, do not like, they are unsettling as all hell.
Well, it's like the first Matrix film when you've got the scenes in the real world and all the things that were designed by Jeff Darrow, and they're all kind of tentacle squid. And why? Because it looks creepy as fuck.
Yep.
Again, it's why when you look at anything that's designed as when you see robots in science fiction, as a Transformers fan, though, it annoys me that every time anyone shows them on Cybertron before coming to Earth, they're still bipedal and humanoid.
Yes.
There is no conceivable reason why any of them would need to be like that.
I've always thought it's because Primus was bipedal and humanoid, because he wasn't a robot to begin with. But he was a god. So
yeah, you subscribe to that, the origin of that. Which, however, there's no conceivable sense that you would design something that had feet.
No.
On a metal. It's like, these are magnetic. So what would we do? Oh, you would have maglev repulsor style technology, flight, whatever, tank treads.
Yep.
You wouldn't just have two arms. You wouldn't need a head.
No, that's where GoBots are always better than Transformers, because they didn't need heads.
Not all the Diaclone guys needed heads. Ratchet was just a seat with a sticker on it, which I love. But I digress. But we go back to it's always it's one of these things, and again, it's the same when you're doing with to touch on chaos as well, because we obviously had that. It's like when you're doing demons, you can go one of two ways: twisted, distorted versions of humanity.
Yeah. Again,
it's why a lot of Slaanesh stuff leans into that, because it's taught as the essential appeals. Like, come to us, we're tempting you, and all that. And then you've got Siege, which is just mad, whatever.
Yeah, wrong angles and swirls.
Yeah. And for some reason, a lot of bird-looking motherfuckers.
Well, that's because pigeons are the basis of all that is wrong with the world.
Speaking as someone who has a pigeon loft in their back garden, I entirely agree with you. Any animal that shits in its own drinking water.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
I digress. They belong to my father, the elder T, not me. It's also to digress. The hobby of pigeon racing, what have you. They call themselves pigeon fanciers. Why'd you fancy pigeons?
I'm not going to get into the entire story of why we as a species destroyed the noble pigeon, but just look it up. Look at what Victorians did to pigeons. The bastards. Right, so...
You could just see what Victorians did to insert blank here, the bastards.
What did the Victorians do to Egyptian mummies that they found? The bastards.
What did Victorians do to pretty much anybody? The poor.
Yeah. The bastards.
Anyone who from a foreign country we've previously or are about to invade and conquer.
Oh man, Victorians, man, freaks and bastards, a lot of them. More nipple rings than you've ever seen. Moving on. Orders, sir. Yeah. Are you all right? I am not afraid. I am fine. The ground forces mean nothing to us. Their weapons cannot penetrate our void shields, and we crush them underfoot like lice. The Imperium deployed us here for a purpose, and that is to combat their biotitans. Cut a path to that abhorrence. Inform the other titans we are closing on the Herodule. That beast is mine. Turbo lasers to full yield. Charge the volcano cannon. Let us show them why they should fear us. And they launch everything. Acknowledged by the Emperor. Burn that Biotitan.
So you've got Hecate at that point. It's like, yep, I'm putting on the front.
Yep. I'm going to make myself angry. I'm going to fill myself full of rage in order to try and deal with the fact that I am fear incarnate right now.
Interesting point in terms of the staging of it. Is it looks almost like he's looking away as he gives the order.
Yes.
Like, is he wanting to not show fear?
Yeah.
It's like, I can give you order, but if you look into my eyes, you're going to see that there's not an unreasonable bit of fear. So again, we get...
It's interesting how sort of Hecate is being presented here. You know, we had the last issue which had him talking to his Obi-Wan, who was telling him, oh, no, you're going to feel fear. You're going to absolutely feel fear. Oh, cheers, mate. But of course, now he's feeling that fear. All his reaction is to burn the shit out of it, blow it up, fire everything.
Yep. So they press forward and we crush the enemy underfoot. Voss warns me that the clay soil is now so slick with purple ichor and split acid it must drop speed to avoid slipping and collapsing. I acknowledge him. I'm not afraid.
Incoming heavy weapons from the Biotitan.
Yeah.
Sorry, what are you going to say there?
I was just saying, you then get the scale of it. It's bigger than it.
Yep.
Than the Titans first time. So again, you're getting the sense of scale. It's like so I acknowledge him. I'm not afraid. It's like, yep, you're there and you realise the scale of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, but again, he's still presenting that front of I'm not there. It's like, damage report. It's like, our shields held and dissipated the worst of their biocannons, princeps, but several cluster spines have impacted in our thorax. Engineer Dorn is running repairs. The Herodule fulfills my sights. It's an obscenity, princeps. So again, you see that point, he's starting to dwell on it.
Yep.
Like,
fire the volcano cannon. I want that thing dead. I am not afraid. Oh, God, it's good stuff. The volcano gun roars, its scream beyond the threshold of sound. But the Herodule is moving, scuttling like a filthy arachnid, moving far faster than anything that size should be able to. Our shot goes wild. It tears upon us. A razor claw tears open my belly. No, not mine, Dictato's. But through the mind link the pain is the same. Plating ruptures. A void shield flickers and dies. Vital servos sever. 3 servitors are pulped or dismembered. The pain is all I can feel. Again, I am wrong. There is more than pain. There is the humbling sense that I have underestimated my godhood, that I have been arrogant in the face of a primal terror that quite dwarfs me in power. And there is fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of death. Fear of the alien horror that I have been asked to fight. The other razor swings up to strike even though I could traverse my guns. Even if I could traverse my guns tight enough to hit it, I am too frozen to do so. I am afraid. Emperor, forgive me. I am afraid. Oh! God, that's good. And then you have the panels of just this, the Herdle just absolutely kicking the shit out of the Titan.
So there's there are two things I would change about this page.
Okay.
That kind of undercut it. The first one is the Wilhelm scream at the start. It's like, no. You probably wanted some kind of arg or whatever in the second panel when he's recoiling in pain.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair.
And that one, I just pure. The other one is where the swinging gun cannon now looks like my penis of death. In the last panel, so all I can see is just the Tyranid death penis.
Well, that would make you afraid, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. The triple-barreled swinging member of destiny.
Oh no! High Fleet of Skadoji has arrived. Oh crap! I can't unsee it now.
That's all you can see now is just like penisy.
Well,
penisy cannon.
because of the three parts of it, it's now just a giant Nurgle penis, isn't it? That's what it is. Yeah. Oh no!
But thankfully, Hecate and Titan and Penis the Tat will have friends, and while he's paralysed with fear, they come along and are you still alive? It's like, and they're on to Hecate, are you still alive in there? Speak to me, Hecate, as he basically perforates the Tyranid.
Yeah, it just shoots it over the side. It is down. Aye, Princeps, your intervention was timely. So close to death, so close to failure, praised the Emperor. The others at least remembered we are meant to be a team. The Tyranids vanish into the smoke, scurrying away in a wave, like colonial insects swarming at the edges of a single mind. The wounded Herodale draws them away as it retreats, but I do not really feel this is any kind of victory. Hecate, to Brother Titans, we must regroup and report to High Command. This bloody horror has only just begun, and for the life of me, I don't know if any of us, if any human mind, has the courage and fortitude to see this through. Outside of the fact they take down a Biotitan, not a huge amount actually happens here. This is all just character work for Hecate. But God, it's good.
It's not just character work for Hecate, it's doing the thing of it's selling me on the stakes.
Yeah.
What we talked with Abnett and Darkblade is every enemy that he's had in Darkblade, it's like, here's the Mingly Mong of Bingly Bong, I'm going to attack you. Why should I be frightened of you? Why should I fucking care?
Yeah.
Spent this part saying, no. Because it was the kind of thing where the orcs kind of didn't really get a good shake.
No.
In the first thing. Because that's not their purpose in the ongoing Titan narrative. They were there as an early test to show, no, he can cut the mustard.
Mm-hmm.
But here you've got, no, this is a step up. So you now have an enemy which is legitimately has you terrified.
Yeah.
And you don't know if you can win. So again, what we're doing is we actually have jeopardy now.
Yeah. Yeah, the horror of the bio forces is really writ large here, and it's done so well. You know, the alienness, the otherness, the absolute horror of dealing with Tyranids is it's described brilliantly. I love this. I am afraid, Emperor, forgive me, I am afraid. Like, coming to terms with it. Well, no, he doesn't really come to terms with it, but he accepts that this is the truth, and that truth freezes him in his place.
Yeah, you've got him basically going through the motions of telling his guys, "I'm not worried, I'm all good," and basically acting as he would be expected to act.
Mm-hmm.
But then at the same token, it's like, oh fuck,
yeah.
And it comes undone just in a couple of nice little places. Again, it's just not an immediate, oh fuck, I'm terrified. It's as he goes through his I'm not frightened, I'm not frightened, I'm not frightened. Even when he starts to fight, it's not to begin with. It's like, no, I go in, I can see him up close, let's take it out. Bang. It's the minute it survives his first salvo and he's coming in close, we've managed to get it. I'll fire again, but that's the start. It's like, it's the fire the volcano kind of want that thing dead. That's the bit.
Yeah.
just the little gaps there between him responding to his crew. It's like, yeah.
Well, it's wonderful. It gets across to you. You've already hit it, and it's still there, and you're getting closer to it, and you're seeing the monstrosity, and that you can't imagine the level of fear, especially as up until this point, he has been a walking god. Within the Titan, he is, because when he were fighting the orcs, even when they came across the Gargants, they weren't massive threats. He was able to take them down, some damage, but he was able to kill them. This is not that. This is something else entirely, and that attack on his immunity is massive.
This is his first real test.
Yeah. And yum 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 yum. Oh.
Yeah. Again, this is really, Dan, you know how to do this. Why is this not in Darkblade?
I mean, my feeling, honestly, is he wrote all of Darkblade, like both books, in an afternoon one day, sent it all in, and they've just taken it as it is and ran with it.
Possibly.
Because
again, that's the thing. Like, not every story any creative is going to do is going to be brilliant. You will have a duffer at some point. It's just the law of averages. It's just going to be, you're going to put something out that's just doesn't land, doesn't quite work. But it's just like, it just feels like Darkblade's kind of I'm following a blueprint, kind of, but with no flavour or nothing. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing earth-shattering in terms of iterative or dynamic storytelling in Titan. That's not to say it's not good storytelling. It's just it's solid, it's good, and it's doing what it needs to do to keep me invested in it.
Yeah.
Because as we talked about it, it's just big robots shooting things. It's fun up to a point.
Yes, of course.
You need something else to hang the story on, and he's delivering it. You're still getting your action scenes and your little bit of that, because you need to kind of satisfy both ends of it.
Yeah. But I think it's funny that you say that Darkblade never lands, but I don't think it ever took off.
No.
And that's the problem, is that right now, Darkblade could turn around at some point, and it did. It delivered a solid story with that Ghost City one. The first part of that was solid.
Yeah.
But the weight of everything up till that point meant that you cannot get invested, because there is so much you've experienced which is knackers.
Yeah.
And Titan's had a couple of dips, but it's managed to kind of right the boat quite nicely.
Yeah, but there's not really. I would say that the issue with Titan is you're looking at it is, in terms of where we've had criticisms, it's been mostly around sort of pacing and staging.
Yes.
Rather, and not giving certain bits time to breathe, and perhaps it should have moved on from a couple of bits. But in terms of what it is, it's done the job. But again, it is very much, this is Hikate's story. The other guys are still relative ciphers.
Yeah.
He's not particularly new sort of wonderful character in that. It's just basically he's a rookie, over promoted in terms of where he should be by circumstance.
Yeah.
I guess a trope in military fiction as well. All that. It's like, all the ranking officers are dead. You're now captain. You must lead us to safety. Do that.
Yeah.
And then you do it. Yeah. It's a well trodden path, and it works when it's done well, and it's worked so far.
Yeah. Yeah. And out of the 4 stories that we've got in this issue, 3 of them have been like proper up there. 3 of them have been incredibly solid bits of work, and I'm glad that we're getting this now, because it feels about a year ago, I think I'm a year in issue time, it's not a year in real time. Although with everything that's been happening recently, it might as well be a year in real time. It felt like things was really struggling to find a foothold. But you've got 3 stories in this issue which continue to be incredibly solid bits of anthology work, and Darkblade, which is also there. And I'm pleased. I'm really hopeful and positive about where Warhammer Monthly goes from here.
well, we talked about last episode. That was last issue was the strongest issue to date. This isn't because Darkblade's back in it.
Yeah,
and we knew that. It's a case of it's. Yeah, the thing is though, again, as we say, just it seems to be that and it's not a preference, but it does seem to be that the 40k centric stuff is just done so much better.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, whether that's because there's more passion for 40k from the people behind the scenes, or not, I don't know. But
I mean, yeah, because part of it must be if you're looking at if you're not into the Warhammer hobby and you go, oh, what is the Warhammer fantasy? And you get it and you go, and if you've any knowledge of fantasy, like, okay, so that bit's Tolkien, that's Moorcock.
Yeah.
Is there anything you've got your own? I've got these rat guys.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Which is why the Skaven probably turned up so many times.
Because, oh, this is something new, but anything else? Oh, we've got, yeah, Arthurian mythos from the French, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Which they seem to like as well.
Yep. Yeah, Roman Empire, stroke Middle Ages England combined. Yeah, we've got some of that. Yeah. Dwarves. Yeah, dwarves are just dwarves.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I genuinely don't understand why there hasn't been a Troll Slayer story. Yeah, really getting into the depths of what makes the Warhammer world different to every other fantasy world. And it always, I mean, Darkblade is just freaking, as we've mentioned so many times, it is Elric, it is Vampire Entity, it is
Dritz from Gordon.
Yeah.
Again, it's just these. Oh, we've got. But again, it's still pointless. It's like, okay, but if you're picking when you're doing it, like, why would you do a dark elf? Because they're already evil. The whole point about Elric is he's from an evil people.
Yeah.
Or not so much evil, but amoral by our standards, because we are beneath them. We're low creatures.
Yeah.
He, however, has a human morality.
Mm-hmm.
Not a great one considering what he does throughout most of the books, but there is that human morality there. That's what makes him interesting.
Yeah.
Whereas, this is just an evil dark elf. So an evil dark elf's got a bit with a demon. Why the fuck should I care?
Mm-hmm.
I think at no point in any of the Darkblade has he made me care about Darkblade in any meaningful way.
No, absolutely not. But it's infuriating because I say the Warhammer Fantasy Battle world, the old world, has a load of stuff that you can easily hang a story on. Troll Slayers, you've got Warhammer Quest. Why are you not having a questing story of a bunch of 4 misfits going down into the tombs? You've got the entirety of Khemri. Why are you not? I mean, granted, we've had a Khemri story and it was absolute fucking knackers. But why are you not having like a story from old Khemri? Why are you? There's so much that you can get your claws into, and it just seems to be no. We're going to tell the most basic, generic fantasy stuff that we can. Why? Why is that the case? I mean, I could pull like 10 things out of a hat here that would be a decent starting point for a story. So why was nobody at that time?
And it's all the point of like there's already the established lore you can lean into. And like I say, the whole point is like, if you're going to do the human stories in and around the human empire, where the fuck are the elector counts?
Yeah. Why do you not have? Why do you not have some Border Prince stories? Because the Border Princes are a fascinating area where it's just a load of tiny little fiefdoms constantly at war with each other. You've got elements. You've got Sylvania. Yeah, the entire vampire counts and the downtrodden people who put up with von Carstein because he's better than the alternative. Just anything at all.
Yeah, and nothing.
Yeah,
is what we get.
It baffles my brain how little like the Warhammer Fantasy Battle is being served by this comic. It might as well be Warhammer 40k Monthly, the way it goes, because that's where the passion obviously is. That's where the people want to write stuff.
I get fantasy can be a slightly tougher sell, but it can still be done. I mean, fuck's sake. How many different versions of Slain the Horned God have I bought over the fucking years?
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's the best Warhammer Fantasy stuff in this has always been the short one-shot storylines, the ones that have like been and done because you're telling a story of one person in that situation and then it's done. You know, Dwarf Lords fluctuated massively through its life.
Shadowfast, Chat the Landing.
Yeah, I was going to say Shadowfast started real strong, but that collapsed under itself towards the end. What else has there been in multiple issues?
Bretonian one-offs.
Yeah, we mentioned them. They were terrible.
No, Bretonian one-offs. The night.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of more like multi-part stories. What Fantasy Battle multi-part stories? It can't just be those two. Well, and Darkblade.
Yeah. No, that's pretty much it.
No, I mean that's a failing. That's a failing of the franchises that you're meant to be presenting to people.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Is like, let's say what you've got such thin gruel. It's like, I mean, I know this is the peak of fantasy about to fall off a cliff anyway.
Yeah. Well, is it any bloody wonder if this is how Games Workshop were treating it? You know. But then again, we know why that happened because you had the ever reducing circle of less people were buying it, so less money was being put into it, so less people were buying it, so less money was being put into it, and that's why Old World collapses and goes away.
And obviously they'll be getting ready for Lord of the Rings as well.
Oh, God, aye. Yeah, that's not far off now, is it? I always think that was... I never think...
2001, I think.
Yep. I was going to say late 2000, I think.
But it's okay, so if it's late 2000 it drops, 99 they're bound to be in the middle of looking at getting it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the conversations will be happening and the meetings will be taking place. I always found it ridiculous that you had Lord of the Rings and Warhammer. And I know they're two very different systems and they're two very different scales, but for the average person coming in off the street, that is going to get real confusing real fast.
Yeah.
You don't want an Elrond, you want a Grimgor Ironhide, damn it!
It's like, do you want Balrog? Or do you want a Chaos Dwarf Sorcerer Lord on a Winged Lamassu?
I mean, I'm always going to go Winged Lamassu. Every day of the week, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I'm considering the idea of buying a second Bale Taurus for my Hellsmiths and then just putting a giant Chaos Dwarf face on it. Because I miss my Lamassu.
Yep. But no, as we said, this Warhammer just, it's clearly an afterthought at this stage.
Yeah. Which is crazy in 1999. Yeah, I didn't think that the rot set in for a while yet, but this feels like it's the beginning of it.
Oh, the rot been in for a long time before that. Yeah, even just as playing it, it's like there was not a lot of people coming into the hobby. Because our club would always get new folk in, some would stay, some would go, but there was always a reasonable sort of new bit. Warhammer games, was only a handful of us played them.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 40k, Necromunda, Blood Bowl still about Gorka Morka when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
Warhammer Quest a little, but that died so quickly.
That's a shame. One of the best dungeon crawler games ever made.
But yeah, Warhammer, there were really only the few of us that played it were the ones that would play it.
Yeah.
So it's just you'd end up with multiple armies just so you could play different types of games. It wasn't just you up against the same guy with the same army.
Yeah. That's because I'm trying to think. 1999. I mean, this would have been when I was kind of coming out the first time, just with being at college and about to go into uni and time and money was being spent on silly things like, alcohol and going on dates. Fool! Warhammer is forever. So we're kind of entering a bit of history now where I've got about 3-4 years where I'm not sure what's actually going on in the greater world. And it is a bit of a surprise to see how little Fantasy Battle is being put forward by the merchant. Not just here. I'm talking through doing the Heavy Metal galleries and the scanning of the White Dwarf issues. It really is being paved over at this point.
It's mad to think, when did Shadow the Horned Rat come out? 97?
96, 97, yeah.
And that was brilliant.
Yep.
I love playing that.
Yep, hardest game ever made, but yep, it's really good.
Yep. But they just seem to, it didn't seem to bring anybody in or give them any impetus to. But again, they probably just licensed it out, got a fee, and didn't get any royalties on it or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very likely. Very, very likely. Yeah, it's Games Workshop of then was not the Games Workshop of now, where Space Marine is and Total War Warhammer is being worked on by both the games team and the Games Workshop design team.
Yeah.
Anyhow, with all that being said then, shall we start to draw things to a close?
Yes.
Right. So Andy, where can people find you if they so wanted to find you, tell you about why they love Darkblade?
Blue Sky's pretty much the only place you're guaranteed to get me. I am on Facebook and Instagram and the like, but very... Excuse me. So, start that again. Blue Sky is pretty much the only place to find me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and all that, but I very rarely check it. But Blue Sky, I'm reasonably regular at. adtcomics.bsky.social. I should have a proper website at some point, but that's just... I'll add that to another day. But you'll see me on there mostly talking comics, nonsense, and obviously promoting Juggermorph.
Of course, the almighty Juggermorph.
The Great Tree Anthology, Comic Tree Anthology Volume 2 Kickstarter still going as we record this, but it'll be done probably by the time this is released. It's been backed, so the first all-new Juggermorph story in 30 plus years will be in people's hands.
I cannot wait.
Co-written by me and Gavin Spence, 5 pages apiece from us in terms of artwork.
I'm looking forward to that. Very much looking forward to that.
If you're going to TFN Manchester, there will be the Juggermorph Ashcan, a refreshed edition from the one we had at TF Nation in August last year. Mm-hmm. A little bit extra content in there. And maybe a print or two from me and Gavin of old JM.
And I've got, I'm going to TFN Manchester. My tickets are bought, my train is booked, my hotel is booked. I am very excited. Mostly because I've got a 6-year-old who is massively into Transformers now, so I'm looking forward to him losing his mind. Though he does want to come in dressed as Boba Fett, so... Sure you don't want a Transformers costume? Nope, Boba Fett. Alright, cool.
To be fair, it's like they are unwieldy.
Yeah. It's better than what he did want, which was a actually transforming Bumblebee costume. So, no, we're not doing that for you. Sorry.
There are ways and means, but Bumblebee wouldn't be the one I'd pick.
No, you'd pick Starscream because then you can just lie on the floor.
No, I would pick a Jazz or Hot Rod.
Mm-hmm. We have more surface area to hide under.
Or, strictly speaking, Power Master Optimus Prime in his cab mode. Because strictly speaking, to be accurate, you are just sitting down.
Yep.
And you're happy with that.
Yep.
Your only problem is you would need some kind of camera on your front and some way of steering yourself about.
There's a video somewhere, and it's a kid who has a transforming costume that actually drives about. And it looks like the greatest fun I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, I digress. As for myself, you can find all the Fluff and Hammer stuff. Just go places and search Fluff and Hammer. There is an account somewhere. I don't usually do much other than share stuff out because I am parent and I work and there is not enough time in the day to do all the stuff that I want to do. It's a problem. And my own personal stuff you can find at adnicol, which is nicol.weebly.com, and that's about it. So, with all that being said, we will allow you, listeners, your day back. Thank you, Mr. Turnbull, for joining me today.
Pleasure as always.
And thank you, guys at home, for listening, if indeed you still are. Bye-bye.
Look at the size of that whammer!
Wham! Because that.
Oh, whammy. Not the triple whammy.